Hi, my name is Kateri, soon to be Dance. We will be getting married on September 7th here in 2019.
I am Anthony Sasser, soon to be Anthony Dance. Kateri and I are getting married on September 7th. When Kateri and I first met, I was actually managing and co-running a concert venue in downtown St. Louis, and she came out to see a band that her and her sister had traveled to see.
So from a long time ago, I started listening to a band called Blame Shift and have traveled with my girlfriend Austin and my sister Teresa all over Illinois, Missouri to watch this band play, and became really good friends with them. So me and my niece actually went to go see them, and we're hanging out, and all of a sudden Austin showed up, and we went to go get drinks up at the bar, and she was like, "This bartender's really cute," and I was like, "All right, go for it."
I was bartending. It was a pretty busy show, and her friend was actually being rather flirtatious that evening.
And so she was kind of joking around with him, and we all started talking and had a couple shots with him, and I went to go pay attention to the concert because that's why I was there. And so after the concert was over and we were hanging out with Blame Shift, they were loading up the bus, and we decided to head back. I decided to walk back in, and he handed me a business card. And with Austin being brunette and me being brunette, I was like, "Oh, you mean the other girl?" And he was like, "No, you were kind of the quiet one. I just wanted to give you my business card." It's like, "Okay." And so he handed me his business card, and I was like, "I've never think I've been given a number by a business card. This is kind of interesting."
Before they had left, I walked up to her, and I gave her my card, and I was like, "Hey, I know we didn't really talk a whole lot tonight, but I think you're pretty cool. It'd be nice to text or hang out or whatever." We took stuff super, super slow at first. So that was the first time we ever met, though.
And then the next day I just texted him just to kind of see how he was, and we chatted for a little bit. And then actually I got a new cell phone, and we kind of stopped talking for a little bit, and then randomly out of blue about 2 months later, he sent me a random text message and asked me if I wanted to meet him for breakfast, and that's kind of where it started. So when I first saw Anthony, he looked like a typical music scene guy. Had a big burly beard.
She genuinely just shined above and beyond almost every other person that I had met that evening.
The comb over with the nice sharp part to it.
I was working, and I don't think that she was there looking for anything.
Plus my girlfriend was hitting on him all night, so I was like, okay, I'm just not going to pursue this. And then the first time we actually went on a date, he showed up with a Hug Life t-shirt on. It was a teddy bear, and I was like, all right, this dude's got personality. So I was like, okay, he's cute. I'll accept the beard.
I could just see that she was a fantastic person. She was taking care of a friend. She's always taking care of somebody. Kateri's always taking care of somebody.
Me and Anthony kind of chatted back and forth over text messages. He has at the time, 12-year-old daughter, and so we kind of did the typical chatting back and forth. My first statement was, "I'm extremely Catholic. Is that going to be an issue? I'm very churchy. I do youth group things."
She did, right off the bat, say, "Just so you know, I'm super churchy."
His response was, "No, not a problem at all." And then his next question was, "I have a 13-year-old daughter. Is that a problem?" Well, I just happened to be downstairs talking to my dad about youth group things. My phone was upstairs, and I didn't text him back for 2.5 hours. And so he's like, "Oh my goodness, me having a daughter is going to be a problem." And to me, I was not a big deal at all.
Our first date, again, when we were together at first, we took things pretty slow. We were very casual. So our first date, we just went out and had dinner. We went to this restaurant called Hula Hands. Ended up going out and just having some food and hanging out, and kept it real light, kept it real casual.
So the first date, we met at Hula Hands in Brentwood, just as friends. Kind of went, had a couple drinks, had dinner. Then we went back to the Firebird just to kind of hang out. He was kind of showing me the venue and stuff like that. And then it was probably about 9:30, 10, not super late. And he was like, "Okay, I think we'll call it a night." And I was like, And he gives me a little side hug and was like, all right, I'll talk to you later. And I was like, oh, I just blew that first date. Like, I don't know what I did wrong. I thought we were having a good time. And then he texted me probably 20 minutes later and was like, hey, I want to see you again. I was like, oh, I really didn't think you liked me. But we sat at Houlihan's probably for 2 hours talking.
We were friends first. We dated a little bit, but we were friends first. And then once it got serious, it started getting pretty serious.
This relationship was very, very weird for me. I'm very used to like go on a couple dates, kind of get a little serious, make it a boyfriend-girlfriend thing, and go on from there. Me and Anthony were friends and like casually dated for almost 2 years. So especially with him having a daughter, I didn't even meet her until a year later. So we met in November, and I met Paige the following January. She's awesome. She's snarky. And super smart and really into animals. And I remember Anthony told me that she loves Harry Potter, and I had never read Harry Potter. So I'm like cliff noting like all these Harry Potter things to try to figure out how's she gonna like me. Being around a youth minister for years, you would think junior high kids would be my specialty, but now we have the best relationship. I drive her nuts. She's super quiet, super like not touchy, which is the opposite of me. So I get home from work and I jump in her bed and I'll be like, Paige, tell me about your day. And she's like, just leave me alone. You're ruining my video game. And I'm like, well, I want to talk about your day.
But I know specifically when she fell in love with me. I know.
I knew Anthony was the one before we were actually officially together.
She got a flat, and I was changing her flat tire.
We were down by the loop and we were hanging out. He was there for a different concert because Anthony booked bands, and so we were there hanging out, and I was driving home and I got a flat tire, and it was in a not so nice area of St. Louis, and so I call him and he's already almost home, and he turns around and comes back and he's changing my tire. I get out and he's getting ready to jack it up, and I'm like almost in tears. I'm so embarrassed that he has to do this for me, and he's like, I care about you. And I was like, oh my God, I love this man. And I was like, what is this feeling?
And she always tells me that was the night she knew that she fell in love with me. And I always thought that was pretty neat because it was that moment. It was like a light switch for her.
And so I always joke that I fell in love with him first, but he knew he wanted to marry me first. And then like 2 weeks later, very typical, Anthony would come over, have drinks with my dad, and we'd all be talking and talking and talking. And so they would have all these like great conversations, and Anthony went to the bathroom, and I finally was going to tell my dad, I'm like, okay, you guys keep talking, I'm going to bed, I'm tired. And my dad goes, he loved you, you're gonna marry him one day. And I was like, I know. And I was like, it's funny how my dad knew, like, at this point we still weren't even officially together.
I knew pretty early on that I had some strong feelings for her. I don't know that it was a light switch moment for me when I fell in love. I knew that I loved her because I knew that she was special. So I think for her it was a light switch moment. For me, I think it was something that I eased into. I eased into a lot with her all the way up until when I asked her to be my girlfriend. And then, things got real serious after that.
He'll tell you the same thing. I used to get so frustrated because I'm like, are we ever going to make this official? Or do you like me enough to make it official?
I knew that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her. Actually, a couple days before I asked her to be my girlfriend.
He finally asked me out right before he left for Thailand because I told him I really didn't want him going to Thailand single.
I told her, hey, I want you to be my girlfriend, and I want, I don't want to leave the country and go overseas without you knowing that, like, I want us to be together. And she said yes.
I've heard enough stories. Didn't really need that in my mind while he was gone.
And then about 4 or 5 days later, when I was in Thailand, I bought the ring that I proposed to her with. So we were only boyfriend, girlfriend for like 5 days, and I bought the ring. But I didn't propose to her that early on. I actually held on to the ring. I kept it in my wallet. So everywhere we went together, the ring has gone with us, but she had no idea.
The proposal was really, really cool. Anthony went on his first church trip with us. We were going to Ireland.
I spent a lot of time with her family building up to it. It was a neat experience. I asked her mom and her dad for permission first, and then I asked her brothers and sister, and then her mom and I would hang out and plan, like plot and plan the ideas for how it's all going to go down.
I knew something was up because he was like, "Oh, I'm over at your mom and dad's house," and I'm like, "It's a 25-minute drive to go hang out with my mom. My mom is absolutely fantastic, but are you really just driving numerous times in a month to go hang out with my mom?"
And so then her mom and I were scheming and thinking of ideas of how it's going to happen over there. And so then we came up with the Lucky Charms idea, which was super neat. So we ended up filling up an entire suitcase with nothing but boxes of Lucky Charms, like the little boxes of Lucky Charms, and we brought it to Ireland with us, and I carried one box of Lucky Charms, and that one box we actually rigged it up so that the prize inside was the ring that I had been carrying the whole time. So that was inside the box of the Lucky Charms, and then her mom set up a few of the others where they had like the little prizes, like plastic rings and stuff. I was doing it with a plastic ring because her mom and dad got engaged with a plastic ring, and so she had always wanted to be proposed to with a plastic ring, and I thought that was really neat. And of course I wanted to honor her wishes to have it go down the same way that it went down with her folks.
You know, we're at this trip in Ireland. We're at this pub, and we're learning how to pour Guinnesses the proper way, the Irish way. And then all of a sudden the bartender or the owner of the pub goes, "Has let me do a shot that I swear is worse than like pop-off vodka." I mean, straight up. And he gives you, like, after you take the shot, he pulls out a bucket, like expecting you to puke. And I'm in hygiene school. I've not drank really at all. So at this point, I'm pretty already like toasted.
It was just a fantastic experience. And so I asked the owner, I was like, "Hey, can I propose here? Is that cool?" And he was like, "That would be fantastic." And he set it up for us and made it a really, really special experience.
What song are you going to sing?
You know.
And the next thing I know, the whole room gets really quiet. And I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me."
Alright, well, I've been telling basically everybody in here for a long, long time that I'm in love with this woman.
I have alcohol like spilt on my shirt, and I'm like, okay, here we go.
This is Kateri. And I would love it.
What was he saying? I didn't hear him. What did he say?
I ended up proposing to her in front of the entire group of people in Ireland. The Kilkenny Tourist Association happened to be like on site for filming this other gentleman that was there performing, and they ended up catching wind of it, and they got really excited, and we shot a little video for them. And
with Kilkenny.com, and I here have Kateri Frisch, my sister, and Anthony Sasser, and Kateri to be the new Sasser. So what happened here tonight?
we actually just proposed not even 15 minutes ago.
What is the point of the plastic ring?
Well, your mother and father have been together for 30 years. They just celebrated their 30th anniversary. And when your dad proposed to your mom, he proposed with a plastic ring. And I felt that it was only appropriate that I asked for their daughter's hand the exact same way.
And what was the code word to announce this engagement?
It was definitely Thundercats Rollout.
And how did you know that this was going to be the exact moment?
Well, we walked in and it was just a fantastic bar, a great atmosphere. Everybody here was great. And so we pulled an audible, changed plans up a little bit, and I proposed to her a couple hours earlier than I was going to.
All right, and Kateri, how do you feel in this exact moment? I'm getting married to the love of my life. It's about damn time. Anthony, what did you have to do to get to the point of proposing to my sister?
Well, I definitely spoke to your mother, your father, yourself, and your brothers. And of course, I got the blessing from my wonderful 14-year-old daughter, Paige Sasser. And I love her very much. And everybody gave me the blessing. And here we are.
Who was the hardest person that you asked this question to?
The hardest? Your mother.
Sounds about right.
I'd be scared too.
The next day, we passed out Lucky Charms to everybody on the bus, and Kateri didn't want hers. I was like, "No, you gotta eat these. You gotta, Lucky Charms. They're exciting. We're in Ireland. You gotta eat them." She's like, "Fine, I'll eat the marshmallows." And she opened it up, and there was the ring. So she got the plastic ring the day before, and then she got the ring that we'd been carrying the next day. So I carried it in my wallet the whole time, and I ended up bringing it over to Ireland and gave it to her in Ireland. So I carried it for the first year and some change, and she can carry it for the next 40 or 50 or however many we have.
He definitely is my partner in crime. Like, he compliments me extremely well.
There's so much to admire about Kateri. She's got the kindest soul of anybody I've ever met in my entire life.
We're both loud. We're both crazy. Our weirdness complements each other.
She's an absolutely fantastic woman, and I'm lucky to have her. I'm absolutely, I mean every word of that. I am so lucky to have somebody like her in my life.
So I would describe Anthony very hairy.
She'll walk into a room and just have a smile on her face. It could be an absolute terrible day, and she'll leave it at the door and just be able to be the bright spot. She's the type of person that you can meet and spend 5 minutes with, and the rest of your day you're bleeding off the adrenaline from all the energy that she's able to exude.
So Anthony is a wrestler. He does the WWE wrestling, rawr. And so it's really funny because he'll come randomly in the kitchen while I'm cooking or I'm stressed, and he'll try to do wrestling moves on me. And sometimes I think he thinks it just drives me nuts, but I love it because it's who else is going to try to suplex you in the kitchen?
She's a ball of energy, and she's positive energy, and it's gonna change the rest of your day. It's changed my life. So I mean, yeah.
Things that I'm looking forward to in the future with Anthony is really seeing him grow as a dad. He was a young dad with Paige and really lived Paige lived the rock star life as a kid. Her dad worked in the music industry and was in a band and traveled, and I'm really excited to just see how he grows and matures as a man and a father. I'm excited to see the adventures because we both love to travel and we want to travel the world, and so learning how to do that not only as a couple but as a family, where our family tree is going to start and kind of bloom off too.
I'm looking forward to traveling the world with Kateri. I think we're gonna see a lot of cool things, and I'm looking forward to starting a family with her. I'm looking forward to traveling with her. I'm looking forward to us fully getting into our groove, finding our forever home, and doing a lot of that stuff.
Anthony, who would have ever known this day would finally come? Starting off as just casual friends, and to me harassing you all the time, to be your girlfriend, to you finally caving in, I guess, to being in a relationship with me, to now growing as a family with Paige, and making our family bigger. I'm sure this day has been absolutely beautiful, and I am so excited to spend the rest of my life with you and all the craziness and spontaneous trips and adventures we're going to have. And just so you know, you signed the paperwork, you're stuck with me now.
All right, we did it. This day is coming to a close up. We're married. I'm so excited to spend the rest of my life with you. I'm so excited that we were able to walk this journey to this point together. I'm looking forward to the next 30 or 40 or 50 years, and I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. I love you.